one of the ways they try to fix these problems is by telling us we need to keep our numbers down. And there's a lot of truth to that, and there's also a lot of complications with that, and that's why we included population growth. And of course, there's other issues with food resources, not just global warming, but lots of resources that impact the animals and humans. And so if you were wondering why population growth is on our animal rights agenda, now you partially know, and you're really going to know when we're done here. So I'm going to welcome our first speaker, Anthony Marr.
Good evening. The population issue is always some kind of a risque type topic because it is said by certain personages of religious persuasions that it is the Western world's nefarious conspiracy to undermine the third world's population towards getting them to fizzle out. And that is, of course, totally untrue. But given this particular kind of way of thinking, I would like to sort of inject some kind of humor to the opening part of this talk, but I just could not think of any humorous thing to say given this topic. So I went to consult Howard Lyman because he's got such a great sense of humor. So I said, well, how can I possibly inject humor in the topic of human population? And Lyman, just without thinking, he says, well, the term human is funny enough. Well, that's my only joke now. Well, instead of talking about humans, let's talk about, let's start off with extraterrestrials. Suppose there is a civilization several million years old, observing the planet Earth with a set of instruments planted on the near side of the moon, observing the planet Earth. They didn't have to monitor it, they just let the instruments alert them. Now, these instruments, given several million years of sitting on the moon observing the Earth, all of a sudden will have, over only the last century or so, detected what I call the 7 critical symptoms. The 7 critical symptoms are as follows. For millions of years, the dark side of the Earth, the night side of the Earth has always been invisibly dark, until just recently, maybe 100 years ago, when all of a sudden we humans say, let there be light, and there was light, night light, neon light. The second one is, if they have a spectrometer observing the Earth, they would see all of a sudden there was great proliferation of unnatural compounds that was not there before. There was also a sheet of paper. I'll probably start off from the end. And, well, deforestation is obvious. I mean, the Amazon rainforest, the tropical rainforests have been continuous for millions of years uninterrupted. And all of a sudden, over the last several decades, it is visible slash and burn, visible destruction of the Amazon rainforest, of the tropical rainforests. And of course, given that, there would be immense soil erosion, and then there will be desertification. And I've been in India, it's not even tropical, it's subtropical, and I have observed the human impact, particularly of the cattle, overgrazing and deforestation combined. Entire valleys are desertified, when just 3 or 4 years ago, when I was there for the first time, it was verdant. 3 or 4 years later, it was completely brown, the soil was completely washed off. India is losing 6 billion tons of soil every year. 6 billion tons of soil translates to 6,000 supertanker loads a year of soil. So India is losing agricultural fertility at light speed. And I predict that there might be a vast famine like you won't believe in India. Ozone depletion can be also observed and by instrument, and that is another symptom, because ozone depletion, I don't believe, has happened before. There is, of course, the Earth has never generated any nuclear detonation until just the last few decades. It can be detected from the moon. Spacecraft leaving the Earth, all Earth's, every single atom are subject to Earth's gravitational pull, and the Earth's gravitational pull is what formed the Earth. But all of a sudden, over the last few decades, bits and pieces of the Earth have seen flying away, some never to return. spacecraft, that's another indication of a critical symptom. The last one was, of course, global warming in relation to the other symptoms. Global warming has happened before, repeatedly, but it was always naturally caused and not related to the other symptoms. But this one is very different. So these 7 critical symptoms, what are they critical? What are they symptomatic of? They are symptomatic of another set of things, 7 things that I call the 7 planetary diseases. The first planetary disease is the root cause of the problem, which I call planetary cancer, which means a part of the biosphere has become malignant and it divides in an uncontrolled manner as cancer cells in the body. That's planetary cancer. There is planetary self-poisoning in the form of toxic pollution. Of course, toxic pollution doesn't rain down from outer space. It is created from the Earth's own biosphere, namely us. There is also the wasting disease of the planet, meaning that there is massive biomass loss and as well as biodiversity loss in terms of a great human cost extinction bout. There is planetary AIDS because the ozone layer has been damaged, which is the autoimmune system of the planet Earth, protecting the biosphere from the UV radiation of the sun. There is also energy exhaustion, which is obvious, and also the exhaustion almost, or reaching the threshold, the limit of Earth's photosynthetic capacity, as exploited by a certain species, which is humans. And also the 2 psychological problems. One is the Earth is suffering very violent internal conflict. That means the conflict between the nations, which have not yet been integrated into a global system. And also a suicidal tendency in the form of a potential nuclear holocaust. If there was a nuclear holocaust, it would not be an alien zapping the Earth, it would be Earth zapping itself. So all in all these have one single root cause, and that is human population exposure. And per capita human impact on the planet Earth.